just bring you up to speed on what the Joy Technology and Innovation Summit is all about. We believe at Multimedia that technology is a critical part of human development. As a matter of fact, without technology, my voice wouldn't be heard beyond the room in which we are now. So technology enables us to reach millions of people with our broadcast. Technology brings people together across borders and across continents to collaborate and be able to advance the cause of human life. We think Ghana, as a very proud nation and one with a lot of future, we should also stimulate the discourse on technology, and more importantly, to also stimulate innovation and bring to fore how technology can actually be leveraged to impact on the lives, livelihoods of people, and also the way we're developing as a nation. And so this is the second of its kind, a summit that brings together some of the foremost ICT people in the country, and also people who are interested in technology and business leaders together to look at how business and ICT and innovation can together shape the way we do the things we do. This morning you'll be hearing from the president of Ashesi University. He's going to be talking to us about how technology can impact education, or how you can leverage the two, or where the synergy between the two is. We'll also hear from Herman Chinriese. I like to call him Ghana's Bill Gates, one of the foremost IT professionals on any scale anywhere in the world. He will be speaking to us as well. And we will also hear from Alfred Rowe of Empire Payments, and he'll talk to us about the future of payments. If you go anywhere around East Africa, and we've heard a lot about M-Pesa, it's something that's really revolutionizing the way they're doing things. A lot of transactions are being done across networks and across nations within East Africa using M-Pesa. And it promises, well, to us here in Ghana, we have our own version of a cashless economy. But how will that change the way we do things? Are you able to order a meal without having to pay cash? Are you able to get on a trotro or a taxi and use your mobile phone to pay? There are all kinds of things that we could do with technology, and I'm sure that when Alfred Rowe speaks to us, he will be bringing some of those things to our attention. Without further ado, I'm going to be introducing our speakers, but first of all, let me tell you a little bit about the people you'll be hearing today. So when I introduce them, it will be short and to the point. Dr. Patrick Awuah is a founder and president of Ashesi University. Before founding Ashesi, he worked as a program manager for Microsoft Corporation. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering and economics from Swarthmore College and an MBA from University of California, Berkeley Haas School of Business. In 2004, Swarthmore awarded him an honorary doctorate in recognition of his leadership in African higher education. Now, Patrick's work at Microsoft led to some of the great advancements that were made to the internet technology, the dial-up internet technology. And for those of you who talk about configuring stuff, whenever you're working with internet protocols, you have to remember that a Ghanaian made that possible, or was part of the team, or led the team that made that possible. They created the framework within which you can make computers communicate across the internet. And we all know him for founding Ashesi University, a very beautiful campus, I might say. If you haven't been there, make a point to be there. And if it doesn't make you want to go back to school, then I don't know what. Patrick will be speaking to us. Herman Kojo Chinriese holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Technology from Texas State University. He's considered as a giant in African technology and innovation. I have personally known and followed Herman's work for the best part of about 22 years. And the work that SoftTribe has been doing, they revolutionized the way retail outlets in this country were able to keep tally of their stock and be able to issue receipts and things like that. This was at the time that a lot of companies were not even bothering to touch small to medium enterprises, and this was way back in the early 1990s. They've gone on to grow the business, and they've provided quite a lot of support for both businesses right here in Ghana, across the continent, and around the world. And he will also be speaking to us pretty shortly. We will also hear from Alfred Rowe, who is the founder of Encodev Labs and co-founder of Empower Payments. Now, coding from as early as his early teens. Alfred has worked on a wide range of projects. He's also done work for internet banking solutions. He's worked on search engine development, corporate internet and extranet, and also bulk SMS applications, as well as e-payments systems. Some of the highlights of his career includes being the youngest faculty at NIIT at an early age of 19. He was, at the time, teaching Java and C++. Those are languages that a lot of people find very confusing. But he's a very, very simple man, and you may consider him a very deliberately understated individual, but he carries a wealth of knowledge and experience as far as innovation and technology is concerned. So, we were expecting Estelle Akofio-Sowa. She's the country lead of Google Ghana. Unfortunately, an emergency has made that impossible for today. We look forward to catching up with Estelle at some point in the future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for making it all the way to the Kofi Annan ICT Center, or Center of Excellence in ICT. We are going to start with our presentations, and our first speaker is going to be speaking to us about the future of e-payments. Like I said earlier, I've been privy to reading some data and information on how the cashless economy is thriving in East Africa. It holds a great deal of opportunities for us. As a matter of fact, yesterday at the TEDx Accra event, it featured heavily in the conversation that if pair the statistics available, all 25 million of us have mobile phones, then it probably is a smart thing for banking to also move to the mobile phone, considering that out of the 25 million, only 30% of us are banked. And in an environment where the economy can grow, banking and finance does play a fundamental and an important role in all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Alfred Rowe, co-founder and chief technology officer at Empower Payments, to talk to us about the future of e-payments.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here to be sharing my few thoughts on e-payments industry and then the future of e-payments. We co-founded Empower Payments some few years back, about 4 years ago, to address a niche in the market. And I'll draw your attention back to how business has been done in the past, and then we'll come to how business is done currently, and then what payments, e-payments will do to businesses. Doing business the old-fashioned way, we cannot attempt to predict the future if we fail to draw our experiences on how we have done business in the past. There are 4 main objectives of businesses. A business wants to grow, retain customers. A business wants to expand its operation. A business wants to grow revenue. And the last one, no business really wants to die. Every other activity a business does is geared towards these 4 main objectives. And underlining all these 4 main objectives, business must accept payments. They must accept money. So if you look at how businesses operated in the past, businesses have to open branches. They have to extend, and branches is a way for businesses to extend their services to more customers. Customers have to walk into branches, do transactions, perform transactions and all that. So there was a lot of interaction between businesses and customers manually. Okay, the issues we had with some of these things was that when businesses interact with customers remotely, it becomes difficult to manage accounts. carrying cash around also has cost. In 2011, the government of Ghana spent $30 million alone just printing 50 CD notes. That money could have been used for something else, but that is the cost of carrying cash around. Traditionally, business used to advertise in newspapers. And then the invention of radio came, the invention of TV came, and then businesses jumped on board. So they realized that they could use radio, they could use TV to reach customers, to send out more information, to make customers know about them. So businesses jumped onto this bandwagon. Now, in the digital age, coming to how business is done in the digital age, with the proliferation of internet, businesses have jumped onto the internet once again. And businesses are using the internet to expand their services to reach customers. So you now have businesses on social media, they have websites, they are using products like Skype, internet messengers to reach customers and to interact with customers. But you could still see that along all these chains, how businesses have used technology to transform their operations. You still realize that businesses have not innovated around payments, how they accept money from their customers. We've all been to websites where we fill some forms, we finish everything up, and then there will be a nice message there. Find one of our branches and make payments. So it diffuses the whole purpose of going online in the first place. What's the use for a customer to come online, perform a service, and then cannot pay and has to manually enter a premise to complete payments? Businesses were losing customers because of this. And they were also spending a lot of cash to expand their operations because they have to do brick and mortar. Before the proliferation of internet, the world used to be big. Now, internet has made the world a global village, as we say. So something happens here, we all know about that. Benefits of e-payments to businesses and customers. Now, what is payments? What is e-payments at all? E-payments is any medium you use to transact business without the use of cash. So if I use my mobile, if I use whatever system, and I'm able to transact business with another customer or another business, and I do not use cash or paper, that is electronic payments. Examples of it, we have MTN mobile money, we have Airtel money, Airtel wallet, we have Tigo Cash, there's Vodafone Cash also around, we have e-payment services like SlidePay, and of course, Empower Payments. We have Aketuya, we have several of them around. These are all examples of digital wallets that allows customers to store values electronically and be able to transact businesses. Now, with the influx of e-payments, it's simply with the influx of e-payments, we realize that most banks are also doing e-payments now. Our traditional cards that we have, you normally walk to an ATM and then you cash it out. That's your Visa or your MasterCard. But these days, you can also go online and then you can also use the same card. So your bank account with your bank card, you can also perform payments online. That's also electronic payments. So our normal plastic cards we have, MasterCard, A-Switch card, Visa card, they are all forms of electronic payments. Now let's look at the advantages of e-payments versus cash. In the early 90s, we all know how we used to write letters, go to a postal office, and then mail them. There was issues with these businesses. What happened was that you have to manually write a letter, you have to find a post office, find some print, pay some money, and send this letter. The drama doesn't end there. You also have to anticipate if the letter arrives to the recipient. Sometimes you make a mistake and you receive that normal, that popular send back to sender, stamp. Today we have generations who have not even written a letter before. It is because of the proliferation of email. Simple invention of email changed the way the postal system worked. Now people even send CVs to businesses and they don't even have to write it on paper. Businesses accept these things via email, and we've now moved the postal services to a more specialized area. Now postal services are actually doing what we call packages. They actually deliver packages. Most people don't use letter anymore. This is what is going to happen to cash in the future. What email do to the postal systems, e-payments is going to do the same to cash going forward. It will get to a point where normal transactions that we do, day-to-day, daily transactions, going into the normal corner store, going online to transact business, going online to pay for school fees, to pay for bills, to pay for services. These things will be done electronically and using digital wallets more, because the average modern day customer is a very digitalized customer. The modern average day customer does not waste time. The modern average day customer spends more time doing more important operations than walking around going from business to business. We all remember sometimes we go to work and we are late on paying bills. The reason is that from Monday to Friday, you are so busy going to work. What's the time left for you to walk to maybe ECG, water bill office, or whatever bill payments that you have to do, whatever bill payment you have to do, their office? The issue is that you don't have the time. So most of the time, you have to do these things on your weekends. Imagine these businesses had a way to introduce electronic payments into their service delivery. From the comfort of your office or home, you could also pay for your bills. And you can see ECG, DSTV, Surfline, all these services are now on the internet. People can pay for these services electronically. Even ECG, which is a very traditional business, has also expanded its service delivery with their introduction of the meters that they have that is able to shut down remotely and is able to also come up remotely if you perform payments. What ECG has done now is that when you pay remotely to any of their agents around, your meter just comes up. They are just a step away from taking this online. And then everything is synchronized. Once you pay online, your meter can come up, your meter can go off. What this means for ECG is that ECG can sell to customers at 12 a.m. ECG can sell to customers at 1 a.m. It means business is now 24 hours. Business is no longer limited to locations. ECG can now make more revenue. This is what it means. I'll put some few case studies out to let you see how e-payments is transforming businesses. The first business, lotteries. We all know how lottery is done in this country. We have several agents around. You walk in there, you stick the normal lotto we call, you stick it, you have your receipt, and you go back home. And then you wait for some draw. If you've won, you go back to this agent to collect your cash. Now, a very traditional business as NLA have now also innovated by adding e-payments to their service delivery. NLA has taken lottery systems to a whole other new level. They are now delivering lottery systems directly to you. Now, what it means is that NLA is having a direct contact with their customers. They don't have all these agents in the middle. They don't have all these middlemen who makes up their business. NLA can now sell their lottery services to you directly. It also means that NLA can work 24 hours. It also means that NLA can now sell to people who, for their location, will not find an agent and be able to stake a lotto. Just because it's a mobile app and you have internet, NLA can be in Accra and sell to somebody in a remote part of Navrongo, because it is internet and it also has e-payments. Let's look at another service. Insurance. We all know how traditional insurance is done. Let's look at motor insurance. You buy your car, you go to an insurance company, it's evaluated, you have it insured. What this means is that insurance companies, for them to expand, they need to expand their branches. So for an insurance company to serve customers in maybe, let's say, Tema, they have to open branches in Tema. As Tema becomes bigger, you realize that the branches queue up, and the insurance company needs to expand its Tema branch. So you see an insurance company saying Tema Main 1, Tema Main 2. And all these things cost money. To serve customers, you have to always put up buildings, stuff it up with equipment just to deliver insurance. With the introduction of internet, most insurance companies took their forms online. Clients were able to fill the details of their motor vehicles, all those details in there, they got quotations, but the missing element was that they couldn't pay online. So it came back to that whole problem the companies had in the past. You fill your forms online, and the best deal you could get is you arrive at the premise, and the insurance form has already been printed on your behalf, and you just have to come and pay cash. It still means that the company still needs to put up branches, just for the sake of you coming there. But because insurance companies, for example, Star Insurance, is now using an e-payment system, they have now been able to carry the business to the other level. They've closed the business online. So when customers come online and they pay for services online, they don't just stop there. They actually make payments. They fill the form and they actually make payments. And the business is closed there. What it means for these companies is that they can also retain customers. Because one of the things of the 21st century customer is that we don't have time to waste. I'll give you a personal example. I stay in Tema, and before I left to Tema, I opened an account with a bank in Accra. They expanded to Tema, but the distance between my end and their office in Tema was about 20 miles. So I normally spend maybe 10 cedis going all the way to the bank. Now, I also moved further to about 30 meters away. And I quite remember, there was a day I was driving by and I saw there was these new buildings coming up. And I was guessing, if my bank had a branch here, it would shorten my movements. So and I do a lot of Saturday banking. So I was actually planning to change my bank because I saw another new bank just closer to my house. So I was about to change my bank. A week after, I saw a banner there. My bank's name was there, and the message was opening soon. So I had some comfort because I realized that now my bank is just a few meters away from me. The lesson here is that in the 21st century, businesses have to be closer to their customers. Customers don't have to waste time traveling to meet businesses. So you realize that businesses know they have to meet customers, so they expand their branches. And internet allowed businesses to expand their services. What internet didn't allow at the time, and this is with reference to Ghana, was that businesses didn't have the advantages of electronic payments, which would have allowed them to now close the entire business online. So you come online, they deliver the service, and then you pay for the service online. So this is what businesses are also doing. I'll also add the last case study, events ticketing. We all know how events are done in this country. An event is put up, there's a lot of noise on TV, there's a lot of advertisements on radio, you might see it in the graphic depending on the size of the event, and some few locations will be given to you to buy these tickets. In fact, in Accra, if you do your research, you will not find more than 15 ticket locations. Spread it around the 6 million people who live in Accra. That's very small. So it means even ticketing is not democratized just for the mere fact that going online, you cannot pay for a ticket. We've all been in that situation where we've moved from our homes, got into ticket centers, and ticket is used up. It's finished. Finito. If this was done online, you could have sat in the comfort of your home, not moved, seen the ticket, and purchased it. E-payments have allowed startups like Ego Tickets to come up and simplified event ticketing for event organizers. So now event organizers don't have to even print tickets. They can go online, they can set up their amount, and people could pay for these tickets online. There's an advantage for both customer and business. The customer doesn't have to spend money buying tickets. You spend money and you waste time. All those things are resources that are at your core that you don't need to waste. Moving all the way from Tema to Airport Shell, it's a lot of time wasting. just to buy a single ticket. On top, that you could also spend maybe 20 cedis. All this could have racked up by just sitting at home and doing this over the internet. And this is the modern day customer. Advantages of e-payments. There will be retail revolution. What I mean by retail revolution is that when e-payments is introduced, in the traditional way, if a business needs to expand, you need more cash to expand. So expansion was for, in quotes, the big boys. If you don't have the cash, you cannot expand. E-payments is allowing SMEs to compete on a bigger scale. That is why over time we have smaller companies who have sprung up and are making so much revenue. And these companies are operating from just single offices. The pure truth is that they've put their services online and they are serving the Fortune 5 million people out there who don't walk into their offices. We have 6 million people in Accra. If you want to serve these people, you cannot serve them using a branch. You can serve them using the internet. And this is what SMEs are doing. So there will be more revolution in retail. Direct interactivity between business and customer. There will also be better financial accounting. In the traditional business, if you have several branches, just checking how your accounts, your current accounts finances are going on in these branches, it's a mundane task. It's a Herculean task. You have to call several account managers. You have to meet at intervals, check what's going on in there. If you use e-payments, you could be at the comfort of your home, check what is happening across all branches. So let me give you an example. Let's say Tissot.com. Tissot sells deals happening online. Tissot is selling to about so many Ghanaians. Tissot doesn't have several branches across. If Tissot wants to check its consolidated accounts, Tissot doesn't need to go to branch, another branch. It's because they use e-payments, so all the payments are consolidated. It's just like a bank account. You do several transactions, all you do is to call your bank and ask for a bank statement. So these things simplify financial accounting. Better service delivery. If you are doing traditional business and you cannot go online, and people cannot close the business online, those who do are delivering better service. They are giving their customers an edge over your customers, and definitely your customers will move over. Stronger fraud controls. We all know manual processes give way for a lot of mistakes, in quotes. You have some few currencies missing here and there. It's just because there are a lot of hands exchanging cash. E-payments can make these things erode. You can also cut costs and then maximize revenue. Cutting costs, yes. With e-payments, companies don't need a lot of branches. That's also cost cutting in the first place. You might not need even agents. You can now sell directly to your customers. And a typical example, in the insurance industry, for an insurance company to reach the last mile customer, they need an agent, an intermediary agent. Most agents take 15 to 10% of the premium. If this insurance company goes online and is selling directly to the customer, the agent is not in the chain. And that's how much premium the insurance company can save. And the insurance company is also dealing with you directly, so they can also deliver better. They can learn from you more, because now they know you. They are not going between an intermediary. Looking forward into the future, we are going to witness an avalanche of new services online. What we are seeing is just the surface. If you go to Kenya and you are in a taxi, the taxi driver comfortably wants to accept M-Pesa. In Ghana, we've all been in that situation. You are in a taxi, the guy doesn't want any e-payments. You carry your card out and you walk to an ATM and you take the cash and you come and pay. These things are changing. Now you can even go to Katamanto and you have a trader there who is telling you that you don't have mobile money. and the guy is more updated than you. It means people are warming up to it. People are beginning to see the value of electronic payments. So there will just be an avalanche of new services. As more businesses discover the benefits of e-payments, they will turn their websites into e-commerce websites. It means now it's not just a website which is displaying information and talking about their services. Now it's a website that displays information, talks about services, accepts input, and accepts cash, and closes the business, and gives you that freedom, that time of moving around, walking into a premise, for them to even say the branch is down now and all that. They can do business at even odd hours. How many people have been to a website where something is being sold and it's 1 a.m. and the website just said it's 1 a.m. we've closed? You don't see it. It means your business still makes money whilst the branches have closed. So there will just be an avalanche of new services coming up because of e-payments and internet. Businesses who adopt e-payments will experience exponential growth in revenue. Let me give you an example. Let me draw your mind to an example. If you look at Google and you look at Facebook, these are traditional internet businesses. These are very traditional internet businesses. You could check their quarterly revenue, their quarterly statements. They make money in billions and billions of dollars. Now, let's just step back for a second and look at Facebook without an electronic payment system. Facebook is there and there's no electronic payment system. You immediately see how the business shrinks. We are here in Accra, we do businesses on Facebook, we advertise, we pay using our cards. It means Zuckerberg is in California and he's doing business in Accra. He doesn't have a branch here, but he's interacting with us. He's doing business with us just because of electronic payments. He's a global business. If you look at Google, they are a typical internet company. People pay for ads. How do they pay for ads? They don't walk to their offices to pay for the ad. They do all these things online. And just by the introduction of e-payments, it has fundamentally changed how that business operates and changed their revenue model. As we call it, the millennials, the new generation who, for some reason, are very adverse towards old ways of doing things. We live in a generation where people are streaming music. People no longer buy albums. There are some generations who don't even know what a cassette is all about. They haven't even played a cassette for it to be turned to even fix it and try and play all those things. And then the generation of CDs came. MP3 generation came. Now it is the streaming generation. Because internet is so fast. People just pick their mobiles and they stream. How do these companies who stream music make money? Now people just pay some small amount of money, monthly basis, and they can listen to music. Without e-payments, this streaming service, how would their business model be like? Would you have to walk into a branch to make payments? Do you have to go online, stream, and later go and pay? So we could see there's a huge paradigm shift. So e-payments adoption is only going to grow. And I encourage every business in Ghana to really dedicate a technology department for e-payments and make its research in it and take advantage of that. It's growing, but it's not growing at the pace that we need to grow. If you look at other African countries, e-payments is really growing. But if you look at Ghana, it's now growing. And a lot of businesses, are warming up to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alfred Rowe of Empower Payment Systems. Let's move on very quickly, but I think he deserves a big round of applause. So our next speaker is a man described as the Bill Gates of Africa for very good reasons. He's been listed as one of the top 100 global thinkers by US-based publication Foreign Policy magazine. He and his companies have won numerous awards. They've won the Goober Awards in the UK, the Ghana Millennium Excellence Awards for IT, the Ghana Club 100 Award for the most innovative company. They've also won the SMS App Award at the Mobile World Lifetime Achievement Awards, Best Entrepreneur in Information Communication Technology, Distinguished Alumnus Award for the Texas State University, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in industrial technology. He is a TED Fellow and has featured in several media engagements on CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. He also was listed as number 7 on the top 20 list of notable black innovators in technology, aptly described as the Bill Gates of Africa. He's a colossus, he's a giant. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome from the Self-Drive, the CEO, Herman Kojo Chinwe-Hesse. And may I add, he is a chameleon. See, he's very, very, very simple, but you'll be blown away in a moment. Herman, over to you.
You're just messing me. It's okay, I forgive. Today I'm going to talk about, I see a lot of young people coming up and young people innovating. So I'm going to make a very short presentation. I'm going to try and address I'm going to give them guidelines because it helps everybody, such that we have the innovations that we need to move our country forward. And having run the course myself, we've picked up where some of the hitches are. And I think I'm 50 now, so I think I should be guiding people so they can make it quicker than we did. Otherwise, we're not making progress in our country. So today I'm going to give some tips and guidelines for innovation as I see it, as my company sees it, given our experience in our part of the world. I hope it's okay. Okay, so the young people, sharpen your ears. Okay. Obviously, we're a developing country. We need a lot of technology can help us do a lot of things. A lot of the challenges we have can be solved cheaply and with technology. We have the young people, we have the young minds, and we don't need big industry and so on to solve our problems. The mobile phones are there. As my predecessor said, the internet is there. We cannot do e-everything. E-everything requires e-brains and e-innovation. That's all, and we have it. Brain for brain, nobody abroad has an advantage over any of us. Once it comes to just the thinking and the computer and the programming, we can all compete, we are equal. So we do that. Okay, first thing I'll say to innovators coming up, I say we should avoid innovations that require large organizations or government to buy. I'm not saying zero. I'm just saying that if you are starting out and you're going to come up with an innovation and you're doing your thinking, if you can avoid it, think and come up with an idea that doesn't involve government and doesn't require a large organization. The reason why I say this is that from experience, we found that it's a very challenging environment. And when you're just starting, you have plenty of problems. The last problem you need is to have to deal with PR relating to organizations that require PR. So you have to be politically correct. So if you can avoid it, do so. So you rather come up with an idea that addresses the masses, that goes to the people, rather than coming up with an idea, for example, that if customs could do so and so and so, I've written a program, they can use it. It's unlikely to succeed in the short term, because the process of getting it actually into place, it's a pipe dream. It might take 10 years. It might never happen. And it will disappoint you. So that's the first one. Also, avoid products that require permits and so on, and changes in law. I'll give you an example. My brother from the payment company, all the things he was saying, I said them 8 years ago. permission to operate stopped us. We finally managed to get the permission to operate. But I'm saying that if we knew, we would have innovated something else. You see what I mean? Because it is a reality. You can't push the wheels of government, they turn slowly. You can't force them. If Parliament needs to pass a law creating a new category of something, or you need to go get over the regulator for something or the other, it's either very expensive or it's very slow. And you have to know how to schmooze. For young people, if you're a young lady or a young guy, 28 years old, you have some bright ideas, you don't know how to schmooze. You need 10 years to learn how to schmooze. You don't know how to go to a funeral in Baku, go hang out overnight, and you don't know how to do it. So you don't want to be mixing that with your work early. Choose a field which you can handle. So avoid products that require permits and changes in law. Avoid cut and paste. I see this a lot. A lot of our young people, they're well trained and they're sharp. When they come and chat with me, they say, "Oh, I've just invented something and we can do this." I said, "What is it? What is it?" When they describe it, it's just something I read about that they're using in California. He's just written it again. And it's like rehashing a Michael Jackson song. And just because you're standing in Ghana, you think you've done something new. But we have Michael Jackson. Why should we listen to you? This is my attitude. You actually have to innovate properly, not this cut and paste thing. It doesn't sell. So even if you're going to do cut and paste, you have to modify it and tune it significantly for where we are and our time and place so it's relevant before you can paste it. So just keep that in mind. If you do cut and paste, it's unlikely to work. Now, the other thing I'll say is avoid stealing ideas you hear about. It's very important in our industry. You see, the dishonesty, it kills innovation. When people, I'm going to give you the moral arguments, and I'll give you the practical one. The moral one is that it's not nice. Stealing is not good. Okay, so that's that. But I argue also that when we have an industry where people are just listening to other people's ideas and trying to steal them, it causes the industry not to develop, because sharp people have better things to do with their life. If every time you invent something, somebody's stealing, there's no law, it's okay. You go and do something else, you go and farm. You stop innovating in that space, because if you are working and you're getting zero, then you stop. So as a group, we lose. As a country, we lose. As a people, we lose. But the more practical issue is that when you steal somebody's idea, and we've had it happen to us a couple of times, you're wasting your time. You said we innovated the original one. We didn't innovate and stop. What you've seen is we're in a continuum. We are continuing to innovate. So I was running from here to Takrady. You saw me at McCarthy Hill. You got excited and stole my shoe. I'm continuing. So you are standing there with a shoe saying, I've won. They sell shoes in Winneba. They sell shoes in Cape Coast. I had a plan for spare shoes. So it's unlikely that you yourself are an innovator if you're having to steal. And if you're not an innovator, become a footballer. Why are you trying to steal innovations half-baked? You see what I mean? Because you won't succeed. It's really not your forte. I don't believe that if I heard somebody talking about something, I'll go and interview him and steal it. I'm too arrogant. I think that me, myself, I'm an innovator. I'll pat him on the back and say, it gives me inspiration to also go and take another sector and think about a solution and do it. If he can do it, I can do it. But stealing his idea, inferiority complex, and stealing. I mean, I've had, in our organization, it's happened once or twice. And it's funny. The people involved, every now and then, I see their children, and I keep thinking that the kids don't know. I've paid their school fees their whole life. My brain part, they were lucky I was born. Their father wouldn't have been able to pay their fees. My things he stole, but it's okay. You see? So there's that going on. And then also, the theft of stuff is on two sides. It's not only on the innovators in the market. I'm not saying this is a rampant thing. It's just the do's and don'ts. Also, clients do that. The other day, there was an event company, which they asked us to come and help them for some ticketing thing for events and so on. And we went through all the details with them over like 3 months. The proposals, the details, and we didn't hear from them. Next thing we know, they took all our documentation and went and commissioned somebody to essentially write our stuff. It's because we are arrogant and busy. Otherwise, we would have taken them to court. But we didn't bother. And every time I hear them on the radio talking, I just feel sorry for them, because the day I'm in a bad mood, I'll call in. Why should anybody expose themselves to this? Why do you have to steal? You're just exposed for the rest of your life. And the theft won't go away. Even if you stop doing that, I can always refer that 5 years ago they stole, now they changed their minds. And somebody will call you a thief. It's just not on. And that particular organization, they seem to have credibility. And to think that they're so vulnerable, I could just drop a bomb on them with plenty of documentation. And it would be so embarrassing. But I'm a decent person, so we don't do that. Avoid innovations that require big money. Lots of people have megalomania. They think it's small. If you go and come up with some complicated idea, hey, there's no money here. The banks are not funding innovation. So I say, if you're innovating, avoid such things. Simple things that you can fund, you and your friends can fund small, and it can create a small difference, and you can grow it over time. That's the broad direction. I'm not saying, in all these, I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying that that's best practice, in my view. Now, this is another problem we have in Ghana. Avoid being sensitive about criticism. In fact, you must seek criticism. Every night when I'm out, I'm chatting with my friends. I say, I came up with this idea and so on and so on. And they say, oh, that's so bright. I don't want to hear that one. Tell me what's wrong with it. Because that's the favor your friends can do you. So if you're not stupid, as they're telling you what's wrong with it, you are fixing it. And you're fixing it with excitement. And the next day you meet again, tell me, poke another hole, let me see how it works. Tell me something. Then you get it, so you get it correct. That's how to perfect a product. In fact, you should thank them, because they're helping you to improve your thinking. But a lot of people in the environment, I don't know, maybe it's a cultural issue, people get very sensitive when you criticize them. They actually start hating you. And I've been in certain debates where at the end of the debate, people think I'm a when really all I was doing was debating, trying to, exchange ideas. So I think that, like for us, it's a big advantage we have, the fact that we can be criticized. It's a success factor. Okay? I'm going to try and rush through. Okay, best practice. 1, innovate for what is. Don't say that, okay, if Ghana has highways, then the highways can have these toll booths that are very electronic. Ghana doesn't have highways. Innovate for now. What is here? What we have is our local roads here. Innovate for that. So that's the first thing. No highfalutin ideas. Innovate for what is, for as things are. That is the African technology. Second thing I would say is, it's best to innovate in an empty space. If you told me right now that I should go and innovate in some space that 4 of my friends are already there battling it, if I have a choice, if there's no choice, fine. But if I have a choice, I will leave that one. There's plenty problems in Africa. Plenty. Choose another one. Because the empty space makes it easier for you to go to market. It makes it easier for you to survive. Otherwise, you go and meet plenty of competition. Half your energy is spent battling with other people. When Africa has plenty of opportunity. Okay? Innovate for the bottom of the pyramid. Innovate for the bottom of the pyramid means that our people are here. They are holding. Ghana has 25 million or more phones, same as the population. Ghana has 25 million people. A lot of our people are poor. They are the ones that need the services the most. So that if you have a choice to come up with a product that can serve 5,000 people, or you can come up with a product that can serve 2 million people, choose the 2 million one. It's a more stable revenue platform. It will be cheaper. You can charge 50 pesos a day, so and so and so. And no government can put you out of power. They can't take a contract from you. You can't convince 2 million people to stop using your product. Especially if it's a product that doesn't require regulation. Okay? Innovate. Seek partnerships. Very important. A lot of people, I don't know, maybe some cultural issues too, but a lot of people don't like working together. It's very important to work together. One man, no job. You can't do everything. The environment is so complicated that you need relationships. So you should go out all the time, the young people, meet people, and network. And to give you an example of how the networks and partnerships work, Our fastest growing product right now is Hagelo. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. It's an anti-armed robbery product. If your house gets attacked, you flash a number. I think 5 things. We'll send the police. We'll tell 10 of your friends and neighbors. Friends at the radio stations will start announcing. What else? A private security company, Eden Security, I think they're called. And then enterprise insurance will also pay you in the event they come through all this, which is quite unlikely to come through, jump through your friends and the neighbors shouting Juloe. It's unlikely. But if you manage to get through all that and you be champion King Kong, when you get into the house, oh, take my phone, it's cool, it's insured. If I have an old phone, do you want it to take it? I've got a Bang & Olufsen sound system. Do you want it? Please wait, I'm coming. Just leave me alone, I'm coming. I'll give you everything. Because enterprise insurance will pay you back for the things that were stolen. Now, to get a product like that going, we didn't attempt to do it ourselves. The insurance is by enterprise. The security is Eden Security. Even the SMSs and things that control the system are from a third party. The security company that does it. So how do I know about 4 men and a dog, a German Shepherd dog coming to somebody's house in the middle of a crime? I've never done that. We didn't try to set up a security company. So what we did was that we split the monthly revenue. We have about 5 partners. Everybody takes small, but everybody holds their responsibility. And this is an example in my mind of how partnerships should work in Ghana. So whereas the security company used to have their clients, some bourgeois people, rich people, suddenly because of our product, and our product is cheaper, the same vehicles sitting there are now covering the people in the poorer areas, but at a lower fee. But there are more of them because our platform can handle, our model can handle plenty of people. So they've got to the bottom of the pyramid through us. Our insurance friends too, they are selling thousands of insurance policies, micro insurance, because of our product, because we brought them into the partnership. But all of us, every month, small, then we grow like that. And I think that's how partnerships should work. Some people, they're just there in the corner, they cover what they are doing and so on. It doesn't really work. And technology is volatile. If you stand around for 2 years, it will expire. The thing you thought was so sharp, you see everybody's doing it. But the technology is moving that fast. So that's where we are. And then the last thing I'm going to say is that a lot of the young people who are innovating, once again, don't be in your corner. Seek tutelage. There are people who've walked the road. They are available. Chat with them. If you ask me, a lot of the people are leaving school and going straight to writing apps. I don't know that it's a good idea. They should go and work in a software company and learn how it's done properly. If after 2 years, 5 years, they want to leave, then they leave. But from school to apps to go and try and create this, there are 2 problems. There are many things. In a technology organization, the writing of the program of the app is just one thing. There's accounting, there's HR, there's business development. All those things are very important. And sometimes programmers, and I was a programmer myself, I tend to think that they are the James Brown. Everybody else should stand aside. This is business. It doesn't work like that. All you're doing is handling the factory bit. It doesn't even mean you have the best business ideas. You see what I mean? So they should be careful. They should seek tutelage. The complex world out there. And programmers and innovators today must work as teams and seek guidance. I think I've finished. I've talked enough. Thank you.
Now, see what I was telling you. He promised us a short presentation, but this is something you're going to be thinking about for a few weeks, if not years. Let's give Herman a bigger round of applause. You are listening to presentations from the Joy Technology and Innovation Summit, coming to you from the Ghana India Kofi Annan Center for Excellence in ICT.